By the mid-2020s, Niko Omilana had matured from a prankster testing the boundaries of YouTube into a figure who understood, in subtle but profound ways, the mechanics of influence, perception, and human behavior. What many perceive as irreverence or randomness is, at its core, a rigorous application of strategic cognition. Behind every viral stunt, every political parody, every unexpected public appearance, lies a mind trained to analyze risk, anticipate reactions, and manipulate social and cultural variables to produce maximum effect. In short, Niko Omilana operates less as a comedian and more as a social architect, a designer of human experience, perception, and engagement. Strategic foundations and foresight. At the heart of this strategic mind is an extraordinary capacity for foresight. Unlike many content creators who rely on spontaneity, Niko appears to simulate multiple future scenarios before acting. He considers audience response, media framing, institutional reaction, and social contagion. For example, when orchestrating pranks at public or political events, he meticulously plans not only the logistics but the optics. What will cameras capture, how crowds might react, what narratives journalists might construct, and how these narratives will ripple through social media. He designs events as experiments, each stunt serving as a probe into collective behavior. This is intertwined with a remarkable understanding of human motivation. Niko exploits predictable tendencies, the desire for attention, the need to conform, the vulnerability to social cues, to orchestrate reactions that serve his objectives. Unlike impulsive actors, he treats human behavior as a set of variables in a system. If X stimulus occurs, Y reaction is likely. By deploying stimuli in carefully designed ways, he creates outcomes that appear spontaneous to observers, but are, in reality, controlled. This is cognitive strategy at a sophisticated level, bordering on behavioral engineering. The mayoral campaign and ambiguity. One striking example is his London mayoral campaign. While superficially humorous, the campaign functioned as a multi-layered social experiment. It tested public receptivity to satire in politics, media treatment of non-traditional candidates, and the flexibility of voter psychology. Niko understood that humor could lower defenses, that absurdity could highlight institutional rigidity, and that social media amplification could extend influence far beyond the ballot box. The campaign illuminated his understanding of social dynamics. Influence is most potent when the audience underestimates the actor, and disruption is most effective when delivered with credibility and consistency. Underlying these public actions is a profound comfort with ambiguity. Niko thrives in spaces where meaning is contested, where audience interpretation varies, and where the line between reality and performance blurs. This psychological trait, known as tolerance for ambiguity, enables him to navigate complex social landscapes without the anxiety that constrains most individuals. It allows him to exploit contradictions in perception, using uncertainty to amplify engagement and create narratives that provoke reflection, amusement, or debate. Ambiguity is not a vulnerability. For Niko, it is a tool of influence. Metacognition and ethical calculus. Another critical component of his psychology is metacognition, the ability to think about thinking, to evaluate his own strategies and adjust dynamically. Each prank, video, or public stunt is not merely content but data, feedback on audience psychology, media patterns, and social norms. Niko internalizes this feedback, revises assumptions, and refines subsequent actions. His content is iterative, responsive, and optimized for both reach and psychological impact. In essence, he applies the scientific method to social interaction, with himself as both experimenter and variable. Niko's strategic mind is complemented by a sophisticated ethical calculus. While his stunts often flirt with social and moral boundaries, he consistently avoids crossing lines that would produce irreparable harm. His pranks may embarrass, provoke, or challenge, but they rarely inflict lasting damage. This reveals a nuanced moral psychology. He understands the impact of his actions on others, evaluates potential consequences, and selects targets and scenarios where disruption is effective but ethically defensible. His humor functions as a vector for critique rather than oppression, allowing him to challenge norms while maintaining social legitimacy. This ethical framework intersects with his political engagement. Even as a satirical candidate, Niko projects ideas that challenge inequality, inefficiency, and absurdity in governance. He leverages humor to expose inconsistencies and provoke critical thinking. While some perceive this as frivolity, it demonstrates an acute awareness of social responsibility. Influence carries moral weight, and satire can be deployed as a tool to improve awareness and stimulate discourse. In this way, Niko combines strategic intelligence with ethical sensitivity, using both to maximize impact without violating core social norms. Perception, risk, and resilience. Social perception is another axis of his strategy. Niko carefully curates how he is seen by multiple audiences: his peers in the digital space, traditional media, political observers, and the general public. He maintains a duality: approachable, humorous, and chaotic in one frame, strategic, deliberate, and socially insightful in another. This duality enhances influence because humans are drawn to complexity and unpredictability. By inhabiting contradictions, Niko generates engagement, curiosity, and cultural resonance. Audiences are compelled not merely by content, but by the character navigating that content. The psychological mechanisms behind this duality are notable. Cognitive dissonance, the discomfort caused by holding conflicting ideas, is leveraged in his favor. Observers simultaneously perceive Niko as a prankster and a serious commentator, a disruptor and a strategist, a comedian and a politician. This tension creates fascination, dialogue, and loyalty. Niko's mind is attuned to the subtle levers of cognition. He engineers perception by balancing credibility and absurdity, predictability and surprise. This is social intelligence at an advanced level, integrated with behavioral insight, media literacy, and strategic planning. Risk-taking remains central to his psychology. Public stunts, political engagement, and media confrontations involve both social and legal risk. Yet Niko's risk tolerance is not reckless, it is calculated. He evaluates scenarios, anticipates consequences, and calibrates exposure to maximize attention while minimizing harm. The thrill of risk serves both psychological and strategic functions. It reinforces self-efficacy, demonstrates competence, and heightens audience investment. The perception of danger amplifies engagement, even when actual risk is managed. This dynamic reflects a sophisticated interplay between personality, cognition, and social strategy. Leadership, identity, and conclusion, collaboration and leadership provide another window into his mind. Within the Beta Squad, Niko demonstrates relational intelligence, the capacity to motivate, coordinate, and influence peers without overt domination. He balances autonomy and guidance, allowing creative expression while aligning outcomes with strategic objectives. Leadership, in Niko's case, is not authoritarian but facilitated, drawing on persuasion, shared goals, and social cohesion. This approach reflects understanding of group psychology. Influence is magnified when individuals feel empowered and invested, rather than coerced. Moreover, Niko exhibits remarkable resilience in the face of criticism. Internet fame is an environment of constant scrutiny, where audience reactions oscillate between adoration and condemnation. Niko manages these dynamics with emotional regulation and self-reflection. He filters feedback, integrates relevant insights, and discards norms. Humor and satire function as coping mechanisms. They allow him to frame criticism in ways that preserve self-esteem while maintaining public engagement. This psychological resilience underpins his capacity for sustained innovation and risk-taking. Identity and self-concept also play a central role in his psychology. As a person of mixed heritage operating in highly visible public domains, Niko negotiates multiple identity scripts simultaneously. He is aware of social perceptions tied to ethnicity, nationality, and cultural affiliation. He incorporates these insights into content, leveraging stereotypes and expectations to challenge assumptions while reinforcing authenticity. Identity is not merely personal, it is performative, strategic, and relational. His awareness of the performative dimension allows him to inhabit public spaces with agility and impact. Finally, Part 3 reveals a meta-pattern. Niko's life and career are structured as a series of interconnected social experiments. Each prank, each political action, each collaboration tests hypotheses about human behavior, institutional response, and media dynamics. This experimental mindset reflects advanced psychological traits: reflective thinking, iterative learning, adaptive strategy, and anticipation of complex social outcomes. Humor and performance are tools, not ends. They are levers for influence, data collection, and social insight. In conclusion, this stage of Niko Omilana's evolution demonstrates a rare fusion of strategic intelligence, social psychology, risk management, ethical awareness, and metacognition. He operates simultaneously as entertainer, provocateur, political actor, and social architect. His influence is not ephemeral, it is constructed, deliberate, and dynamically maintained. Understanding Niko requires seeing beyond the surface humor to the calculated, psychologically sophisticated mind orchestrating perception, shaping behavior, and probing social systems. He is, in essence, a human experiment in influence, resilience, and strategic engagement, merging comedy, politics, and social insight into a cohesive and evolving psychological architecture.